Hey all, my name is Paul Borosky and I am the owner of Quality Business Plan. And what I'd like to do today is give you all some tips and tricks on how to write a construction company business plan and financial projections. So the purpose of this video is kind of just to give you all some thoughts and ideas as to what you should include in your construction company business plan. Maybe some trains of thought on how to approach certain sections. And so, like I said, I'm going to give you about 4 or 5 tips on, what to think about when you are approaching this momentous task that is in front of you. All right, but before we get into talking about how to go ahead and structure and write up your construction company business plan, a little bit about me, and then we're going to talk about you and your construction company business plan needs. So first and foremost, I am a professional writer. I've published many books on Amazon, and I am also a professional business plan writer. So if you want to avoid the trials and tribulations involved with writing your own construction company business plan, please pick up the phone, give me a call, send me a text, send me an email. Be delighted to assist. If you do want to go ahead and go down the path of the construction business plan, feel free, help yourself, have fun, enjoy, but at least have some kind of a guide while you're going down that path. In this guide, that may be either some templates or a business plan writing book. And again, I have published many of those on Amazon. Check me out on Amazon. And finally, educational background to let you know that I do know what I'm talking about. I am an adjunct professor and subject matter expert in both business and finance. So like I said, I do teach finance courses, design finance courses for local colleges. And then also, if you need some help with some financial projections, that's something that I hold near and dear to my heart, and again, be delighted to assist. All right, enough about me. Let's go ahead and talk about your construction company business plan. One of the first sections that should be in your business plan for a construction company should be the company description. A lot of organizations, what they love to do is they love to go immediately into the services that you provide. If you're a trim carpenter, you'll talk about laying, running trim, and you'll talk about the different, types of baseboards, or how to design a staircase or something. If you're a plumber, then you're going to talk about plumbing. HVAC, you're going to talk about HVAC and the services you're going to provide, whether it's installation of air conditioners or services and repairs. However, before you dive into the services that you're going to provide in the geographical areas you're going to serve, talk about why you're actually getting into it in the first place. There's going to be a story behind it. Did you do it with, mom or dad, throughout your childhood, and it went from a hobby or a family trade to a profession for you? Whatever it is that got you into the construction industry, regardless of what it was, make sure to discuss it, make sure to talk about it, and make sure to introduce it before you dive into your business plan. It's going to help you not only differentiate as to why you're doing what you're doing, but it's also going to show that it's more than just about the dollars. You're doing it for love. You're doing it for a passion. You're doing it because you've always done it. You're doing it because it's a family trade. Give something more than just dollars and cents, and that's a great opportunity to do it in the company description section. Next is industry research. A lot of organizations for the construction company, what they're going to do, especially for the HVAC and the plumbing and electrical, what they do is they immediately dive into comparing their organization or their prospective organization with their competitors. Competitor X, Y, and Z down the street, they charge, $20 million for a service call or something like that. Or their service techs are just not trained adequately. So immediately they start going for the jugular of the competitors in their industry research. And that's really A, not the place to do it, and also B, it's not the process to follow, in which if you want to do that, you have no foundation, you have no credibility to make judgments against somebody else. A better strategy when you're doing your industry research is, first and foremost, do actual research into the industry. Go to statistica.com, go to IBIS World, and gather some industry statistics. What are some trends? What are some statistics that are happening in your field, in the construction field, in the HVAC field, electrical, plumbing, and so on? Talk about the industry trends and the statistics. For example, right now in the construction industry, revenues are about $2.1 million. That's a whole lot of money. Profits in the industry about 117 billion, and it's highly fragmented. What it means by highly fragmented is that there is a lot of small organizations in the construction industry. There is not one large competitor dominating the services. And then building construction, 36% of all revenues come from building construction. If you're going to be in the construction phase of the construction process, building houses, building offices, building roads and such, then make sure to identify some of those statistics. Once you identify these statistics and talk about these statistics, you have now laid the foundation for credibility. And from that credibility, you can then start analyzing your competitors. I highly recommend don't just go for the jugular again and just talking about how bad they are. Maybe compare your competitors to some statistic actions. For example, if a competitor just focuses on servicing customers that of homes that are already built, you can maybe differentiate by saying that you're going to be doing new construction, and 36% of all revenues in the construction business come from actual construction. And then now you're showing some differentiations, not only from your competitors, but also using the industry research that you've done. All right, next is going to be advertising. A lot of organizations, if in the construction industry, they do very little advertising. A lot of them won't even have a website. They don't do a word of mouth, and they don't blog. They don't even do social media. What they're doing is they're going out and they're bidding for construction jobs. They get contracts, and then they just go with that. Another way a lot of businesses get customers in the construction industry is through networking. They've been doing it for 10 or 15 or 20 years, and they know a lot of people in the construction industry who refer them to, different builders or different, architects or wherever you're going to get your business. And then that's how, they put in their bids and go on and so on and so forth. However, that industry does get very saturated very quickly. A better strategy might be to differentiate your services by focusing a little bit on some homeowners or some buildings that have already been built, maybe do some services, do some new installs and such. If that is a revenue channel that you wish to exploit, then you're going to need to do a little bit of traditional marketing. Traditional marketing is going to be your social media, is going to be your website, is going to be pushing the word of mouth from past customers. And a wonderful, wonderful one that I really appreciate is blogging. If you want to become an industry expert and you want to go ahead and advertise it at the same time, start up a blog and write about it. Write about HVACs, write about new air conditioners that are coming out, write about some new if you're going to be doing plumbing, write about some new tools or services that you're going to provide. If you're going to be doing lawn care is not construction. Electrical, maybe there's some new types of wires, or there's a new electrical panel that's coming out that's going to help you save electricity. Those are the kind of things that you can talk about in your blogs, and you're going to show that you're an industry expert when you're doing that in the construction field, and you're also advertising your company at the same time. As for social media, everybody loves social media. A lot of people don't use it consistently and persistently. When you're doing social media, try posting some pictures of your previous jobs, before and after pictures, and they're always a great way, especially for air conditioners. You're taking out an old unit, you're putting in a new one. Great way to do a before and after picture. Trim carpenter, tile. Doing your tile, you're pulling out carpet, take a picture of the old carpet, yank it out, put your tile down, set it up, grout it, wipe it down, make it look all pretty, and then take some pictures of your flooring. Another great way to do it. All right, move on to number 4, funding request. When you are doing your funding request section for the business plan in the construction industry, first and foremost, right off the leadoff batter for your funding section should be how much money you need to either A, start your construction business, or B, expand your construction business. Make sure it's a specific dollar. Don't put a range, because if you put a range, A, your lender or your investors, they're always going to go for the lowest dollar amount. And then B, it also shows that you really don't know how much money you need to start your company. You're wishy-washy, and it's going to start introducing a lot more risk into the process that you don't need. So be specific in the first sentence of your funding request of how much money you're going to need to get this game going. Next, once you identify the dollar amount needed, then go ahead and describe where that money is going to go to, but use categories, use budgets. For example, if you're going to buy a vehicle, you're going to buy 2 vehicles, then put 2 vehicles approximately $15,000 or $50,000, and then also go ahead and set aside some, a budget for equipment, a budget for tools, a budget for inventory, and align dollar amounts to each one of those. But always make sure that you're going to have a working capital. Working capital is once you start your business, you're going to need to keep the lights on. You're going to need to pay your employees. You need a little bit of money in the bank for advertising. Make sure you have some money set aside for working capital as well. Once you have your categories set and you've identified what those categories are, then total up the dollar amount budgeted for each one of the categories. When you do that, make sure the bottom dollar, the grand total of everything you need is identical to your top dollar that you requested in the first sentence. When you follow that structure, you're showing that you're decisive and you know how much money you want up front. You're giving yourself a little bit of wiggle room because you're calling each one of these categories a category and you're calling them budgets. So now you've got some wiggle room within those budgets because, it doesn't say, how much you're going to spend on a vehicle. It just says what your budget is for a vehicle. It could be less. And then at the bottom, you're showing alignment that you've identified specifically how much money you need. You broke into the categories and then you total the category and you're showing that the bottom number is aligned with the top number. All right, next is going to be tip number 5, financial projections. So a lot of people, when they're going to start a construction business, they're doing it, for a profit. They're not doing it for kicks and giggles. It's not a nonprofit organization. This is a money-making venture. You're here to support yourself, your family, and your employees, and you're going to do that to the best of your abilities, and you're going to try to make the highest profit possible based on the work provided. However, in order to determine if you are making the highest dollar amount possible and the highest profits, you do need a basic profit and loss statement, which is what we have right here. So for this basic profit and loss statement, this is just for a basic construction company. You can use this structure for an HVAC electrical. You can use it for trim. You can use it for flooring. You can use it for framing, what have you. It's still pretty much the same process. So the first part is going to be identify the main services you're going to be providing, whether it's installation service, repair service, or other, or all 3. Then identify the average price for each service for installation, HVAC. Let's say installation for tile, maybe the service is going to be on average $1,500. Next, you have to identify what the variable costs are. Your variable costs are going to be the actual money you need to spend to do a job. It's going to be your materials. It's going to be your gas. It's not going to be your labor because you'll be paying people anyways. So it's going to be your material. It's going to be your gas, and it could be wear and tear on your tools. You might need a special tool for a specific installation, and it's not going to work anymore. I don't know, but that could be a variable cost. The next thing you're going to do is you take your variable cost, subtract it from your price, and voila, you now have a gross profit. And it's not gross, it's actually wonderful. So you're going to take your gross profit, and then you're going to multiply it by the number of services you're going to provide in a day. I'm going with 0.25. So what this means is that you are going to be doing an installation service every 4 days. So that's the theory behind that. If you're going to install one HVAC or one flooring every day, then this would be a 1. If you're going to do it 3 times a day, then it's going to be a 3. If you're going to do it once a week, then it's going to be a 0.2 or a 0.25. You take that number of installations, multiply it by the gross profit, and now you've got the total gross profit for the day. Next thing you're going to do is you can follow that same game for the repair services and other. Then you're going to total up all of your gross profits right here. Next step is going to be to multiply your gross profits by the number of days in the month. I am going with 20 because we're working 5 days a week, and for 4 weeks, it's going to give us 20. We could go into fractions, but again, whatever we're doing for profit and loss, it's going to be wrong anyways. And so you just trying to get an idea of what you can make based on the numbers. Doesn't mean that's what you are going to make based on the current economic environment. So you're going to take your total gross profits, multiply it by days in a month, and bam, you now have your monthly gross profits. In this particular example, $29,050. Next, you need to figure out what your monthly costs are going to be. And these are called monthly fixed costs. It's a ha-ha because they're actually not fixed. They do change. The only thing fixed about them is that you're going to be paying them on a monthly basis. The dollar amount will probably change. Some of the monthly fixed costs you may come across is going to be a loan. For this example, $1,500. Inventory replenishment, $1,500. Labor, $4,000. Got to pay your people. Space rental, if you're going to have an office to work out of, $2,500. Utilities, $750. Marketing, $3,000. Got to pay for some advertising. Accounting, legal, and insurance, $125. And then the wonderful catch-all miscellaneous. You are, excuse me. In my most humble of opinions, you do always want a miscellaneous. You can't identify in certainty what your fixed costs are going to be on a monthly basis. So you want some kind of a budget that's a catch-all, and that's an excellent place to put it. Once you're done with that, add them all up, and you now have a total fixed monthly cost right here. In this example, $13,875. And then once we're done with that, we are now going to figure out if we're going to be making a profit or a loss for our organization. To do that, you're going to get your monthly gross profits. You'll pull it down from right here to right here. Then you're going to take your monthly costs. You'll pull it from right here to right there. Subtract your costs from your profits, and you will have your net profits. Our net profits for this particular example, $15,175 for the month. Once we're done with that, if we like these profits, we're good to go. If we don't like these profits, now that we've got this financial model built, we can go ahead and change the prices. We can change the variable costs. We can change the number of items we're going to be performing in a day. We can change all this information, and our financial model will automatically roll over, update the numbers, and now we're able to find strategic price points for our organization. If you need help with this, again, pick up the phone, give me a call, send me a text, send me an email, be delighted to assist. All right, in summary, excuse me, in summary, when you're writing your construction company business plan, first and foremost, follow a proven format. If you start, excuse me, if you start with a blank Word document or a blank piece of paper, within 1 to 2 hours, 3 to 4 days, 3 to 4 weeks, you're still going to have that blank piece of paper. You're still going to be staring at that white screen, and you're not going to be getting anywhere. So a better strategy for you to do is to follow a proven format. Go to the SBA website and download one of their templates. Go to my website and get one of my customized templates. Do something that you're not sitting there with a blank screen. Like I said, if you start with a blank screen, you're probably going to finish with a blank screen. So at least you give yourself a fighting chance. Go with a template that's customized for your individual needs. Next is going to be keep the star of the show as the business. Yes, you might have been in the construction industry for 25 years and you've been doing it for so long, and you've completed 150 projects and you supervised even more of those. Yes, you are definitely a cornerstone of the business, but you don't want to make the business plan about you. You want to make the business plan about the business. When they're going to do a loan or an investor is going to be interested in your company to give you funding, they're going to want to know about the business, not about you. So keep that in mind. I can't stress that enough. When I get clients that come to me, they want to make the business plan all about them. And then I ask them, well, what's going to happen if you retire? What's going to happen if you move on to another entity and you have a manager running the show? You are now threatening your business because you made it all about you when it's really about the business. So keep that in mind. And then finally, if you need assistance with writing a business plan, with doing financial projections, just consulting in general, pick up the phone, give me a call, somebody text, be delighted to assist. All right, and finally, if you do want some more information on writing a construction company business plan, please go to my website, qualitybusinessplan.com/how to write a construction company business plan. And I do have some more thoughts and ideas on more details on each section of writing the business plan. Feel free to check it out. And then finally, if you would like a template that is customized for the HVAC business, please go ahead and visit my business plan template website, which is qualitybusinessplan.com/business plan templates. Scroll down to where it says construction industry business plan template, and you can go ahead and purchase that. If it's not updated or if it's not on that site, just send me an email, send me a message. Let me know that you want the updated version or the whatever construction version that you're looking for. I can go ahead, usually have one of those written up within 4 to 5 days. So hopefully this video was helpful. And as always, if it was a good video, you liked it, give me a thumbs up on YouTube. Give me 2 thumbs up if possible. And have a fantastic rest of the day. Thank you.